Roario started injecting himself regularly and found the immediate results to be addictive.
Why are you even flexing, brother? You know damn well you injected yourself with snake oil. This is like the equivalency of a girl getting a BBL and then going to like hit some squats afterwards to show off her progress. Who are you trying to fool? Your arm looks like a fried chicken tender. The ladies would love this. Like, look at him, bro. What's... It's safe to say we've all been to the gym, but sometimes when you go to the gym, you look in the mirror, you might be feeling a little self-conscious, okay? To the point where you develop certain type of mental health crisis type of issues surrounding your own appearance. Now, typically you would hear this body image issue amongst women, like hip dips and body checking, for example, but it's also prevalent within the male community. So today we're gonna check out The Male Body Image Crisis by Cole Hastings. We gotta get down to the bottom of this, and it's Men's Mental Health Month.
In 2012, a man named Roario dos
Santos Alves. That's a nice tattoo, bro. Okay, I'm worried about the wrong thing.
Alves walked into a bodybuilding gym in Goiânia, Brazil.
As
he made his way through the gym, he noticed that many of the...
Okay, I don't mean to start pausing the video too many times way too early, but goddamn, dude. If it looks like you have bull testicles within your arms on one side and the other side, where you look like Popeye the Sailor Man and you ate 13 tons of spinach in order to get these testicular tubes on your arm, they look like you goddamn injected coconuts into your arm. This looks like an infection. Birth defect.
Men working out had massive...
Like, bro, how could you possibly think this looks good? Like, the ladies would love this. Like, look at him, bro. What's... You look like a cartoon character, man.
Cartoon-like in size.
Yeah.
Curious and interested in becoming as big as possible,
okay,
he asked them what they did to build their arms. And that was when they introduced him to something called synthol. This substance, a mixture of oil, alcohol, and lidocaine, is injected into the muscles to enlarge them without the need for extra exercise.
Brother, you're trying to take the easy way out? So you're taking a needle and sticking your arm up with synthol, oil, and alcohol? Brother, just hit the gym. Hit some bicep curls. I don't know. Like, it's not even that difficult. I mean, I guess I'm not the right type of person to be taking advice from, but goddamn, bro. Maybe I smacked myself too hard. I turned red. You know what? Maybe we should be taking their advice, okay? Not mine, because I don't have, you know, the gains to show off. I'm sorry.
Roario started injecting himself regularly and found the immediate results to be addictive.
Why are you even flexing, brother? You know damn well you injected yourself with snake oil. This is like the equivalency of a girl getting a BBL and then going to like hit some squats afterwards to show off her progress. This is like me robbing a bank and then going to a construction site, digging a hole in the ground and saying I found it there. Brother, that's not where you put the work in. Who are you trying to fool? You need to go ahead and start putting that snake oil into that hairline of yours, because it's looking like a horseshoe.
But that added size didn't come without a price.
Okay, so what came with it?
After taking synthol for under a year.
Kind of cool. Okay. Is Kaido from One Piece?
Small rocks started to form in his biceps due to the calcification of the muscle tissue with synthetic oil. He experienced tremendous daily pain and was told by his doctor that they were going to have to amputate his arm.
Yo, Roario, look at me right here. Man to man. Breaking news, bro. You inject yourself with things that are not supposed to be injected into an arm and bad things happen. First human being to ever have rocks form inside their arms. What an achievement, bro.
Roario fell into a deep depression and even attempted to unalive himself before the procedure.
Oh, damn. Okay.
But when he went in to get a CAT scan, he was graced with a fortunate stroke of luck.
Okay.
After reviewing the results, the doctor told him that they did not have to amputate his arms.
Okay, at least we didn't have to do that.
To perform surgery to get rid of the calcification. Although Roario doesn't dabble with synthol anymore, his desire to become a professional bodybuilder remains. And led him to explore other types of substances.
Can you even compete? Hey, for all my bodybuilders or people who are, you know, well versed in the gym and all that stuff, can you even compete like this, or is it considered illegal? Like, does he have to get those all removed or something, or what?
Like horse tranquilizer. There are many other stories like Roario of men who are unsatisfied with their
dog. I don't know. They look like they're hanging off a limb. They don't even look natural in the slightest, man.
Extreme measures to appear like Greek gods or Marvel characters.
Greek gods? Your arm looks like a fried chicken tender, okay? It's like funnel cake, man. Brief admission, please make sure you sub to the channel if you're enjoying the video so far. New videos every single day. We're on the road to 20K now, and I would appreciate it if you subscribe.
For the average person, this might seem incomprehensible. How could someone become so addicted to the idea
That's my question.
that they resort to drugs that they know will ruin their life? But the trend of pursuing an increasingly unattainable physique has begun to spread to a more vulnerable demographic.
Like what? Kids?
Teenage
boys. Okay, I see it now.
A body dysmorphic disorder where an individual obsesses over their muscle mass has...
See, at first we know of anorexia, you know, the skinnier people who get really, really skinny. But now we got bigorexia. People want to get so goddamn big for whatever reason. I don't know. I think the problem also is like, what's their reason for wanting that? Because sometimes I will say people want to get really big, either one, because they're insecure, they're really short, so like, okay, I got to get really big. Or they're trying to get women. For those guys who put snake oil in their arms and stuff and try to get huge. Do you think the average woman really likes that? No. I'm telling you right now. Am I a woman? Am I attracted to men? No, but I can tell you that, bro.
Reached a level of serious concern in the fitness industry. One study estimates that 1 in 10 bodybuilders are affected by bigorexia. And
1 in
other
10?
studies have estimated that the prevalence of muscle dysphoria was 5.9% among college students.
Damn, that's quite a bit.
13.6% and 44% among male weightlifters. Why is there such a large gap between the actual numbers? Well, partly because it isn't being talked about enough, but also because it's very hard to identify. Most people with this condition appear outwardly healthy, but inside they are dealing with a mental battle that can lead to severe depression.
So it's like a mental health issue that really causes this issue overall, and you can't even see it. So some people, they're not even that big, but they already have bigorexia. So bigorexia is really a mindset first, fellas. Okay.
Anxiety. How do I know? Because I was one of those men too. So let's
you don't be kind of shredded though, bro. Okay, Cole. Okay.
On this under-researched realm of
so he know what he's talking about. Let's listen to him
and explore.
Let's listen up, man.
Bigorexia is on the rise. In order to understand how we got here.
Okay, why are there dudes with Speedos on my screen? I'm practicing celibacy, okay? I ain't trying to bust right now.
Let's first understand where this crisis
Can't even say pause
started.
at that. I'm just kidding.
The world of competitive bodybuilding.
I'm not.
Bodybuilding as a sport and resistance
I'm straight,
training
man.
solely for the purpose of improving one's aesthetics wasn't popularized until the 1940s when contests like Mr. America and Mr. Universe put more eyes on the scene.
I always thought that like people in Greece did this, like in the Olympics, say like Olympians or something, or like Zeus and Kratos and stuff. I thought maybe like Greek dudes were out here, you know, getting hella jacked and like doing these type of competition.
The contestants' physiques, though nothing crazy to our current generation, were seen as abnormally large during
be honest, bro. I could low-key compete with them, bro. Type shit, like that's not even that bad, right? Like toothpick.
Physiques, though nothing crazy to our current generation, were seen as abnormally large during this time. But this level of impressive physique was about to be inflated forever.
Why?
With the introduction of one drug.
What?
Steroids. Anabolic steroids are a synthetic derivative of testosterone designed to enhance the hormone's muscle building properties.
Correct me if I'm wrong. For y'all who do steroids out there, anybody watching this video, by the way, if you're watching this video and you haven't done it, don't do it, okay? But for the people who have, is it like there are multiple different ones? I've heard things like SARMs, I don't know, a bunch of different things. Some people put needles inside their butt and shoot it up, and yeah, and I guess it helps them get bigger.
1970s, bodybuilding reached what
is known
Arnold
as
Schwarzenegger? The golden era and hit the mainstream through the likes of Arnold Schwarzenegger,
there you go.
Zane, and Dorian Yates, all of whom use steroids regularly. It exposed an entire generation of fitness enthusiasts to a new level of physique. But it wouldn't be seen as a desirable or achievable level of physique.
So people kind of just looked at it as like a trophy, almost like something that we could never be, but it's just like, oh, that's cool to look at. Almost like, I guess, I don't know, getting a girlfriend for some of you guys watch this video, okay? You could never get a girlfriend and you guys are gonna die alone. Just kidding. I think I can say safely that all of my viewers will all find love in their lives. Every single one of you guys.
Many years to come. You see, during this time, bodybuilders were still seen as genetic freaks. On Muscle Beach, a public gym that most of the biggest bodybuilders in the scene went to, people would view the likes of Arnold and Frank as a spectacle. More than anything,
I ain't gonna lie, bro.
People would view the likes of Arnold.
Hey, yo, you're like right above him, like, you know what? Okay. It's Pride Month.
As a spectacle. More than anything, outrageously huge bodybuilders clearly taking some kind of performance-enhancing drugs were like zoo animals. A fun thing to look at.
Zoo animals.
Not something.
All right, buddy. You showed a black person on the screen. You start talking about zoo animals. I see where you're moving. I see how you're moving, Cole. All right, bro.
Most kids
chill, bro. Chill. Relax.
But now that
Juneteenth was the other day.
The mainstream, the doors of opportunity to raise the standards of what was considered a great physique were wide open. The portrayal of masculinity in pop culture and other forms of media has always had a firm grip on young men. Before we know who we are or who we want to become, we have always looked to those ideals presented to us to give us direction. Usually these ideals offer more positives than negatives, but in the case of outwardly appearances, it's reaching the ends of extreme. What is considered a strong male physique in movies, for example, has evolved quite a bit over the years. In the 90s, one might have considered Brad Pitt in Fight Club to be absolutely jacked.
I think the best physique on a male, 90s,
one might have considered Brad Pitt in Fight Club
like to me at my biggest, I would want to get maybe a bit bigger than this. To me, like after that, getting too huge, it's not really aesthetically pleasing, bro. I don't really care if you can pick up 2 swanton bombs with a watermelon on top and have a truck on your back. Okay, you got it, big bro. You can carry an elephant, you can carry a sumo, enough to where you take your shirt off and you don't have a bunch of body fat. That's personally my peak type of aesthetic, okay? Anything a little crazier than that, anything a little here and there, that's fine, but I don't want to get too big, bro. Especially when I gotta put on a bunch of fat with that too. No.
Absolutely jacked. But if we fast forward 7 years, we can see how our desire for more muscle reflected itself in the movie Male Physique. I remember seeing Gerard Butler's physique in the movie 300 when it came out.
This is good too. This is good. This is kind of like similar though. I mean, he definitely is a bit muscular, more muscular, has more mass on him.
I was only 9 years old at the time, but I do remember thinking that a body like
I didn't even watch
was
this.
completely unattainable, only reserved for dramatic depictions of life.
No, this
Though he
isn't
may
that
have
crazy,
looked
right?
Unbelievably good. Butler reported in interviews that he was working out for 6 hours a day,
God.
quote, ruining his body just to maintain that level of physique.
Bro, 6 hours a day? Yo, I ain't running no 6 hour a day for no damn movie. You might as well give me a freaking muscle suit and call it a day. I'm putting on a shirt that has a six-pack written on it, bro. No.
A completely unrealistic lifestyle for the average person.
No.
Still, this was a movie where a lot of young men looked up to the main character, and many of them began working out in the hopes that they could one day look like Gerard Butler. How do you think an idea...
Was there ever a character, for you guys watching the video, were there ever a character in like a show, a movie or something where it's like, okay, you get that inspiration from that person and that's how you want to look? I think I just like Lady Tsunade from Naruto for obvious reasons.
like that affects the mental health of an adolescent boy? In extreme scenarios, they spend all their time lifting weights, revolving their life around the gym and eating healthy, disregarding any other areas of development. And when their efforts always come up short, their self-esteem plummets, never being satisfied with how they look, despite looking better than most kids their age. Through the early 2000s and then 2010s, the ideal male physique would continue to grow in size. A study conducted in 2006, the same year 300 came out, concluded that action figures have become more muscular and larger over the past 25 years.
That's interesting, because I actually used to play, okay, hold on now, this is something I'm well versed on, okay? Action figures, I used to play with G.I. Joes. If y'all know, y'all know. I had the WWE wrestling ones. My favorite wrestler of all time, Triple H. You know why? Because his name starts with H. That's all I needed, okay? I don't care about no Jeff Hardy. I don't care about no Rey Mysterio. I don't care about no damn CM Punk. I don't care about no Sweet Chin Music, Shawn Michaels.
Another piece of pop culture, James Bond, saw its most recent actor, Daniel Craig, boasting a much bulkier physique.
If y'all never watched James Bond or Lara Croft, Tomb Raider, yeah, bangers.
Connery's James Bond in the 1960s. Just about every form of media that had an attractive male star saw their muscular ideals grow in size as our culture continuously pushed.
What's this guy's name? I know who he is. What's his name? I forgot.
Considered strong and beautiful. And a lot of these actors
The Rock
are accused of using steroids to enhance
I ain't gonna lie, bro. The Rock, goddamn, definitely uses steroids. And he be capping about that, too. What is he, like 75 years old, bro? And looking like this? Yeah, bro. Never in a million years, okay?
Physique and reach that standard. This is not necessarily a problem on its own. Actors want to be extremely dedicated to their roles, and steroids might allow them to do that without having.
And also something that y'all don't even might not want to talk about, might be a different conversation. But like being in the media, being in the limelight, you gotta look good. Otherwise, you're not getting hired as an actor, pal. Unless they're like a comedic relief, you'll never see a main character of a show or an action movie who's like fat as hell. You won't.
Side effects, so long as they keep the dose low and get off of it when filming is over. But many actors often lie about the drugs they are taking, making it seem like their physiques are attainable.
I hate that, bro. Just be transparent, man.
Drugs.
Be honest.
Did he juice? Did he take steroids?
No. I love my job and I love Wolverine. I gotta be careful.
Hugh Jackman, okay? Who are you lying to, okay?
I say here, but I had been told anecdotally what the side effects are of that, and I was like, I don't love it that much.
Again,
so he did.
Perpetuates a masculine ideal that is becoming increasingly more difficult to live up to.
Because you gotta think about it like this, bro. When you're watching Hugh Jackman, right? He's an X-Men. He's Wolverine, right? You see, he's huge. He's ripped. You know who's gonna watch those Wolverine? You know who's going to watch those X-Men movies? Kids, bro. And they look up and be like, oh my god, he's so huge. I want to get like that. How do I get like that? And then they realize, oh, he's on PE goddamn Ds, okay? He's on SARMs and X-arms and putting, snake oil inside of his butt that's making him look big. And, do you want to do that? No. It's not healthy? No. Is it bad influence? Yes.
Men find the masculine ideal is farther and farther from their reach.
Right.
Two things will happen. They will either go to extreme measures to get as close to that unrealistic ideal, taking dangerous supplements, ruining both their physical and mental health in the process, or they will give up on the idea of looking like that completely and tell themselves that they will never be good looking enough to deserve acknowledgement.
I've seen both sides, yep.
But there is one form of media that has wreaked more havoc and done more damage than any other forms of media that have existed in the past few decades. And that is, unsurprisingly, social media. I just so happened to be getting into fitness and bodybuilding when I was in college in 2015, right when the first...
Okay, so I'm not that skinny, bro. He looked like about my size, bro. Like, roughly, right? Like, Okay, when I do this, I kind of look kind of big, though. Yo, chat, be honest. Do I have potential? All right.
Influencers
Nobody's asking about me. Nobody cares.
Guys like Sean Thompson and Christian Guzman became figures that I looked up to as a teenager because they were very relatable and transparent about what it took to look like them.
Okay.
I began setting up a workout routine that revolved around my studies and social life. When I'd go to the dining hall...
What's his major? He looks like a finance guy. Something in business, man.
Add a few extra slices of pork or chicken to my plate.
Okay.
And soon I was beginning to see my first glimpses of those mood gains, as they're called. The progress was addicting. It was the first time in my life where I felt like I had complete control over the results.
That makes sense. You know, confidence booster
and
stuff.
That positively translated into other areas of my life. I had more energy. I felt more confident in social settings, and my discipline was easier to call upon. But when the social media fitness industry really started gaining traction through mediums like Instagram, that's when my self-esteem started to take a dip again.
Let me guess. You start comparing yourself, okay? You start saying, oh, you know, bigger bicep than me. This guy's left butt cheek is a little bigger than mine. See, that's what you don't want to start doing, bro. You don't.
It stemmed from
comparison thief of joy, bro. Thief of joy.
As the fitness industry continued to reach new heights in revenue every year, more and more teens were being exposed to the lifestyles of fitness addicts on social media. Extreme fat loss routines, how to bulk up fast, the one exercise that will blow up your chest.
I've seen videos like this, bro. Yo, if y'all don't know, like Athlete X, those are the type of videos I used to watch when I was younger.
The type of engaging titles that got clicks and drew the most attention. My fitness regimen began to evolve with it.
Bro, you look kind of huge though, bro.
2 years into my body.
Like honestly, bro, at this point, I would not stop working out, but like this is what I would want to get and maintain. Bro, this is cool.
And I built a respectable physique for myself. And so, with the influence of these influencers, I started an Instagram account in the hopes of becoming a fitness figure myself. A lot of you still don't know this, but for several years, my entire brand and this YouTube
so he knows all this stuff
revolved around fitness and bodybuilding content. With 2 social media accounts dedicated to this, it became ingrained into my identity. And because of that, everything I did had to be in alignment with my bodybuilding goals. At the same time I was growing my pages, an occurrence that was mainly only reserved for celebrities was growing in popularity amongst fitness influencers online. And this is when the fake natty epidemic really took the internet by storm. Ever since steroids became available, there's always been people who claim to be natural to appear more marketable.
Like The Rock and stuff.
When you look incredible, but you convince people you're natural, you feel more relatable to the average consumer.
That's a fact, bro. One thing I was telling one of my friends the other day, literally like, bro, for somebody who's on roids, if they ask you, it's like, yo, are you on roids? You tell them no and you're big, they're going to be impressed with your look. They're going to be like, damn, like you achieved that look naturally. But if you're on them, they're actually going to be like, what? That's it? Like, that's it? And since you're on roids, actually, you look like shit. You look mid. You look terrible. Such a contrast when you say you're natural versus not. And I don't even blame people for saying that they're not natural. I mean, I do blame them, but, like, I can understand why they wouldn't want to do that. Because people think that, like, taking roids is automatic, like, snapping the finger and you're huge as hell. And if you're not huge as hell, that means you're lazy as hell.
It makes them feel like they can reach the same level as you so long as they put in the same work. And many people see using steroids as a shortcut or cheating, making you generally less likable. Now that social media was so popular, this gave any average male the opportunity to take advantage of naive young boys and build a following online, so long as they had an impressive enough physique. A study titled Male Body Portrayals on Instagram, conducted in 2020, wanted to evaluate whether those with more muscular physiques received more likes and comments than those who look smaller.
That's a good study. I'm interested.
Posts depicting men adhering to high levels of leanness and muscularity received significantly more engagement than those who didn't.
Okay.
Whoa, big fucking shocker. The guy who looks absolutely shredded is getting more likes than the thin, scrawny guy. But I need to cite this study to emphasize what's about to come.
What?
Promoting your physique on social media
What's coming all over?
Currently bad. When it's accompanied with some inspiration and good advice, it can actually be a huge force for good and influence people to
I go lie, bro. Side note, besides
advice.
that, some gym exercises be looking so like, are these underwear or is this tan, bro?
It can actually be a huge force for good and influence people to pursue healthier lifestyles. The problem, which amplifies the rise of bigorexia, comes in.
The Liver King? Bro, this dude be eating like raw meat daily. He be eating like turkey nuts and stuff. It's weird.
Of influencers promoting their physiques, which can only be attained using performance-enhancing drugs that claim they are natural just to sell more of their products and supplements. Yeah, bro, you can totally look like me. I haven't been shooting needles in my ass.
That's what they're, okay, I get what he's saying. Okay, so he's saying that basically like there'll be people who take, you know, PEDs, performance enhancers, and then be like, no, what I'm actually taking is this supplement right here. Go for nut supplements out that you can buy from their Amazon Amazon affiliate link, and then they're like, yeah, this is the reason why I'm actually big. Buy this, and you'll give me a commission of $5, and that's how I make my living, bro. It's actually just like being a snake oil salesman, bro. Facts.
These perfect photos are omnipresent in the lives of young boys. Now.
This is like
They're
AI.
only seeing pictures of fitness influencers in a state in which they only look like that 1% of the time.
True.
Or in some cases, they're seeing a completely
because also to get to this big, for some of y'all who don't know, and yes, I know a little bit, you gotta bulk up, right? You gotta get hella fat, then you gotta lift a lot, and then you gotta get big and put on a lot of muscle, and then you cut aggressively, and then you look like this. They're not looking like this year round. True stuff.
Version that doesn't even really exist. Then they have the audacity to lie about how they reached that level.
Oh my God, and don't even get me started on people who edit their pictures. Some people will probably put the contrast up, take the black point down, put the saturation up, try to make the ab crevices look a little bigger. Yeah, I'm on to y'all, bro. I know how it works.
Huge mental health issues among young men who will always feel too small and undesirable. And the hostility now for people online who would have had what is considered to be a great physique a couple decades ago is insane. There are teenagers getting their self-esteem and confidence destroyed by posting their fitness results after a few years.
Okay, but one thing I'll say about this, bro, don't go online looking for validation and try to like compliment fish, because bro, sometimes you can go on Reddit and put like r/whatever and put something of yourself, and you want genuine advice that you can't get from your friends, go on there. You go on TikTok, everybody's trying to look for a viral moment, trying to get a top comment by saying something funny and stuff.
They don't look like the 1% that mostly get highlighted on social media.
Right.
Even if they aren't teenagers and just have a really good average physique, those guys are getting eaten up in the comments too. But I don't think this has just affected men's perception of what is considered a great physique. It's also affected women's perception too.
Oh.
I see a lot of women post pictures of celebrities with what they think is a dad bod.
That's true,
which is
because
really
this ain't a dad bod. This is really just someone who's big as hell, bulking, getting hella muscle, getting ready for that cut, bro. This is peak physique.
Shape that isn't totally
This is peak physique. There we go.
Just a couple decades ago, this guy would have been considered an absolute monster. But now, dad bod.
Is that true?
Checks out with the other scientific literature we have, as it's been shown that a greater total screen time was associated with greater symptoms of muscle dysphoria in both men and women. As a result, in the past few years, we have now seen more and more stories of teenagers trying a bunch of different substances and drugs, either being indifferent or ignorant to their side effects.
These are being marketed towards teenagers?
And part of this industry has turned into a melting pot of desperate, insecure teens who have no idea how badly their physical and mental health will be affected in the long run. Steroids and other hormone replacement therapies come with...
So these are the side effects of shooting that stuff up your butt. Potential liver damage. I heard that, y'all shrivel up. I can't be taking that because it's gonna make me go from like 4 inches to like 2 inches, bro. Can't do that. Decreased breast size, coarse skin, increased blood clotting, enlarged heart, and excessive body hair growth.
Whole host of side effects, including infertility, cardiovascular issues, and a greatly increased risk of premature death. But perhaps the worst part of all this is that many teenagers know the risks that come with taking these types of drugs.
And they still do it anyways, bro.
They're so obsessed with achieving this.
That's like a Gen Z mindset, bro. Like live fast, die young. One thing I was telling one of my friends the other day too, dropping a word of wisdom. I'm gonna drop a word of wisdom on y'all too. I know this is an unskippable cutscene, nobody cares, but listen to me real quick though. Here for a good time, not a long time. But one thing people don't understand is you're actually gonna be here for longer than you might think. The real pain you're gonna suffer is throughout that time of living. For example, when you smoke a lot and you damage your lungs and you get lung cancer, you're gonna have to live through that pain of having lung cancer, going through chemo, all these different treatments, and be like, damn, this life sucks. You're gonna be having those, testicular problems. You're gonna be having a lot of pain, aching, this and that, and you're gonna live through that, bro. You're gonna feel that pain. It's not like you just die instantly. The last 10, 15, 20 years of your life, it's just gonna suck ass, okay? So don't just think, oh, I'm gonna do this and then I'm gonna die. No. It's not gonna be that easy. You're gonna have to live through that pain that you caused, and it's gonna be all your fault.
Body type that they will destroy their lives for a chance to potentially get there.
Right.
When I was at my very biggest, around 222 pounds, I remember how much worse I felt on a
Y'all think y'all could take them? Yo, pause.
Daily basis. And this is without the use of any performance enhancing drugs, which I've never used. It felt like my entire day was dedicated to
Chipotle?
eating. By the end of the night, I had to force feed myself just so I could be bigger. On days where my abs didn't show as much, I might go so far as to do an extra workout when I was sore and increase my risk of injury.
See, you gotta stop looking at that mirror. Damn, pause the damn video. You gotta stop looking at that mirror so much, bro.
Lifting weights. And these are ironically way higher than when I was overexerting myself lifting weights. And you know what the funniest part is?
What?
I'm 22 pounds down from my heaviest weight. but I personally feel like I look better than I ever have.
I believe that too.
That's because my perception of my physique is no longer distorted.
You can also see it in your face too. Like, you look happier, bro. Also, just, bro, being leaner is just better, bro. It's just better, man. Just be lean, man.
And that's because
I'm just kidding,
my
man. Be
perception
whatever you
of
want.
My physique is no longer distorted by the media I consume. Okay. You know what? Sometimes it does come up. I'll check my abs in the mirror, make sure I'm still like shredded. But it's a lot better than it was back then.
Yeah.
If you're struggling with the same body image issues I've struggled with in the past, I really recommend putting a bit of distance between you and the online fitness world.
Okay.
These guys almost never look the way they do in photos and videos in real life.
Yeah.
You want to know what they actually look like? Here's me with a pump in good lighting, and here's me with no pump in bad lighting. They're almost
Damn. Yeah, this is like 9-day difference, bro.
incomparable. And you shouldn't be comparing yourself to other people's physiques anyway.
Right.
Especially not the edited fake natty ones
Exactly.
on social media.
It's true. There's wisdom right
Everybody
here.
has their
Y'all
own
listen up.
genetic potential. And that means you might never reach what is genetically achievable for that guy you look up to online.
That's true.
Even if they are.
Because
like
not everybody even has the same muscle insertions, bro. Everybody looks different, bro. We're all humans and we're all unique in our own way, bro. I think another thing to mention is like really just having an obsession with anything. It might cause you to struggle. This could be literally anything. If you have an obsession with, I don't know, trying to be too beautiful, you're gonna be looking at your face too much and trying to find things that are wrong. You start looking at, your body too much, you're gonna find something that's wrong. You start looking at your diet too much, you're gonna find something wrong. You start looking at, I don't know, whatever it is. Obsessing over anything is just unhealthy, bro. And it will lead to, different mental health issues regarding that area. That was the male body image crisis. Let me know what you think down below in the comment section. Make sure you like, subscribe, join the Discord link in the description. With that being said, I won't waste any more of your day. It's Luffy Law. I love you, and I'm out.